Hello everybody. Today we're going to show you how to cook a very popular, very nutritional and very authentic Indian dish. It's Daal. You're going to love this. So easy, so tasteful. You know, it's going to be one of the best things you've ever tasted, even better than the ones you have in the restaurant. Watch and learn. It's actually going to be made of two different types of lentil. One is the orange lentil, and the other is simply a yellow lentil. We're going to have a mix of these. We're going to try and you can have different proportions if you want. I think we're going to keep it even, keep it simple. It's going to be accompanied with rice, and also we're going to have some yogurt. We're going to have some raita with probably some onions. And I don't think we're going to cucumber, but you can put cucumber in there and a bit of masala powder. And it's going to come out very nice, very easy to cook. We're going to keep it simple, and it should hopefully take about sort of 15 to 20 minutes to make. So, you know, Jamie Oliver, eat your heart out. This is going to be quicker than the 30-minute deals. Watch this space. Okay, let's go through the ingredients. What we're going to put into our dal today. Very simple ingredients. 1 tomato, 1 piece of ginger. We've got 2 cloves of garlic. And we also have 2 pieces of chili. Now, depending on how hot you want the dal to taste, you can either decrease it to 1 or have a bit of extra. This here is ground coriander. Again, not very hot, but adds to the spice. This is about a 3/4 of a teaspoon. Next to it, we have 3/4 of a teaspoon of jeera, also known as cumin. Next to that we have a garam masala. Now again, this controls the heat as well, so again the more you have, the more hotter it will be. This is not a mandatory recipe for this, so you can decide not to include that. This is turmeric, and that gives it a bit of the colour, the curry colour. We're gonna show you the proportions of the dal. So basically what you need is to feed 2 people. We need 1 fistful of each of these. So we get a bowl, and I'll just show you 1 of the red or the orange lentil, and 1 fistful of the yellow lentil. Sorry, I've dropped it all over the place. But essentially, this should feed 2 people quite well. So that's our ingredients. Okay, I'm going to sort of give you a brief description in terms of how to cut these and chop the ingredients up. The tomato, ideally for a nice base, you want to cut that into very small pieces if you can. The ginger and the garlic, what you want to do is again chop them into small pieces, but some of them not so small that it kind of completely blends in. You want to have the odd spoonful of a little bit of a surprise in it as well. And again, the same with the chilies. You want to cut them small enough, but not too small that they're not noticeable. The rest of the ingredients is pretty much you basically pour it into the pot and at certain times, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's start with the tomato. Let's get that cut. Now, what I try to do is try and get that into small enough pieces. Good. And it will actually dissolve in as you're cooking, but try and not chop them too coarsely. You want to have enough texture there. And also be careful with a knife.
Especially when you have a fucked up knife.
This is not a brilliant knife, but Prez did actually, who's actually filming today, did actually injure himself doing some preparation. The ginger, like I say, skin it. We're going to take the skin off, and then we're gonna cut this into again small enough pieces. But you want to, like I say, have a bit of a surprise. you know, while you're eating, you have the odd piece of ginger that comes, you know, into your mouth and gives you that little bit of a surprise. So let's get the skin off. And again, it's quite easy to chop. What I tend to do is I tend to cut them into strips and then so they're pretty good pieces of sort of small cubes. You know, they're not gonna dissolve, but they're gonna add to the texture of the dish. Okay, that's the ginger and the tomato done. Very easy, very quick. Hasn't taken too long. The garlic again, the same sort of size as a ginger. Again, these are not going to be too small. Not quite as small as a ginger. As you can see, I'm cutting them across the width of the garlic. So you're going to feel the odd surprise of ginger here and there, and the odd surprise of garlic when you take a mouthful of your dal. Okay, and that's pretty much the ginger done. Now, remove the stems of the chili. Like I say, you can. There's a really good way of doing that my director here has shown me. Cut sort of diagonally and away from yourself, and you actually get some very nice sized pieces of chili, and it helps to kind of fuse the whole dish with a bit of a bite. Okay, well that's most of the chopping done and preparation of the ingredients. As you've probably noticed, I've not used any onion whatsoever because the lentils that we're actually using today are quite mild lentils, so you know, any strong tasting ingredients like onions will actually spoil the taste, so you know, avoid completely using onion. This is all you need for this dish. Okay peeps, let's start the cooking. We're going to use a traditional pan, a bit like a frying pan, a bit like a wok. You know, very common utensil. We're going to use olive oil to fuse the base, to make the base with. Roughly pouring about sort of 2 teaspoons of olive oil. I think that's about right. Let's get the heat on. We want to get the oil quite hot. We're going to get the oil quite hot, and then we're going to place the cumin in here. We're going to get the cumin to cook first. You'll notice that once it starts to cook, and the cumin starts to heat up in the oil, it starts to pop a little bit. You know it's ready then. So all is heating up. Let's pour that in. This is roughly about half to about 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. Just let that swirl around. You'll notice as it heats up, it will start to pop in, and this will hopefully, the oil will help the flavour to be released from the cumin. We'll let that heat up slowly. You can tell the oil's quite hot now, and as soon as you start seeing them pop, which they are starting to do now, you can see it sizzling. I'm going to add the ginger first, and then also the garlic, and give it a bit of a stir. You can tell the oil's quite hot now, and as soon as you start seeing them pop, which they are starting to do now, you can see it sizzling. I'm going to add the ginger first, and then also
the garlic and give it a bit of a stir. Down a little bit because I don't want it to cook too quickly. I want the flavour to kind of gently.
As it starts sticking to the pan as well.
Yeah, otherwise it starts to stick to the pan. You can smell the aroma straight away. It's beautiful. The fusion of the ginger and the garlic and the cumin. Absolutely beautiful smell. Okay, we're going to let that cook. Once you start noticing a slight browning of the garlic, you know that it's ready for the next ingredient. Let that simmer gently. Right, I think it's about ready now. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to put in the tomatoes and the chilli. So let's have that now. Give it a bit of a stir. Turn the heat up a little bit. Let's help the tomatoes start to cook. And this base is looking absolutely lovely. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit, just to kind of let it sizzle gently. On a slightly low to medium heat. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is tomatoes started to cook nicely. The ginger and the garlic and the chilli are all nicely fusing. I'm going to pour in the remaining of our ingredients. We've got the turmeric, the garam masala, and the ground coriander. So that all goes in together. Give it a bit of a tap. Give it a bit of a stir so that there's an even mix of everything together. And what I'm going to do is on a low heat, let that just simmer. What I'm going to do is cover it over, keep reducing the heat. While that's cooking, let's. I'm going to just give the lentils a bit of a wash, just to get any sort of dirt, dust off that. So just give them a little massage. I should clean it up a little bit, and I'll do the same with the orange lentil. Okay, do the same with this one. Just keeping an eye on the stove, making sure that the recipe is fusing. That's coming along quite nicely. Give that a gentle massage. Okay, now I think we're ready to roll. This can go. Let's see how our dish is coming along. Right, I think we're ready to introduce our lentil. As you can see, the base is fused together. I'm going to pour both of these in together. I'm going to fuse that spoon to bring it all into the pan. Try not to spill any. Give it a bit of a stir. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of water in here. I'll just show you how much we're going to use. It's about a bowlful. Not quite a bowlful, but enough. about half a bowl full. Pour that in and just give it another stir. Mix everything up. I'm going to put the right, now that it's been about sort of a minute, maybe 2 minutes of cooking time, I'm going to add some more water, maybe another 2 or 3 of these small bowlfuls. So, angle first. You can see that the lentils are starting to expand. Just one more. As you'll see, the lentils will actually absorb a lot of this. Give them a slight stir. That looks great. And you can see that the turmeric, the spices have all fused together. You can see the onion, the great traditional yellow colour of Daal. And then we're going to cover it back over and then just let the heat simmer for about another 5 to 10 minutes. And I'll talk to you in a short while. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raise the heat on this a little bit more. And what we're going to do is we're going to let it come to the boil. And then as soon after it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down, get it covered, and just let it set for about another I don't know 5 to 10 minutes. So just watching it come to the heat. You can tell it's starting to simmer now. And I said wait for it to come to a boil, and then cover it over, lower the heat slightly, and then leave it to simmer for a further 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to boil now a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for about another 10 minutes, 10 maybe 15 minutes. So I'm going to turn the heat down just a touch. So that continue that sort of simmering, that boiling to a low medium heat, and then we'll come back to it in about 10 minutes, and then I'll have a look at it then. Okay, let's see how it's doing. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes, and you can see the lentils are starting to expand. Nice sizzling. As you can, we're not gonna stir it too much. We'll just have a little peek. You can tell the lentils have softened up. Still plenty of moisture in there as well. Brilliant. Coming along very nicely. Very nicely indeed. Okay, it's been simmering now for about 5 minutes. Let's have a look and see how it's doing. You can see how the lentils have now become softer. Oh, this looks great. Yes, you can tell that the ingredients have all mixed in very well. Nice bit of colour there from the tomato. Just give it a bit of a gentle stir, just to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Keep that on the simmer. Let that simmer again for about another couple of minutes. I'm going to turn the heat right down. In fact, you can turn it completely off now. That's ready. That's ready to eat. Okay, so we've got our dal. That's ready. We've got our raita. That's done as well. All we need now is a bit of rice. Very simple and easy way to do it. This is slightly different to what people normally do. What people normally do is that they put a lot of water in, boil the rice, and then throw the water away. What we're going to do here is have just the right amount of water, so we retain the flavour of the rice. What I have here is a small glass of rice. This should be enough for roughly 2 people. It's about 3/4 of a cup lot. I'm going to pour that into a bowl. Give it a quick rinse. Just a slight massage on the rice, and then I'm going to empty that. Now this is the important bit. It's all about getting the right amount of water. What I'm going to do is fill 2 full glasses of the water. That's 1 and 2. Okay. Making sure that all the rice is actually in. Now you can actually put, if you wanted to, some vegetables in, like for example carrots or peas, to give it a bit of extra colour. But if you want it plain, very easy. Plonk that in a conventional microwave oven. Switch it on for full power, which is about sort of 8 to 900 watts. Put it for 13 minutes and let that start. After 13 minutes, it should all be ready. We'll give it a stir and you're ready to go. Okay, almost done. 3 seconds to go. Let it ping. Right, let's say you have it done. Now be very careful because this is going to be extremely hot. Let's have a little quick peek. Just make sure it's all good. Oh yes, look at that. Brilliant. I'll just place that here. I'll just show you whether you can tell that the water is pretty much all gone, and that looks absolutely delicious to eat. Let's just show you the dal. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? Easy. So, here we go. The dal, the rice, the raita. Brought to you by the Spice Gurus.